as my role in here, the idea to keep things running as smooth as possible always is the ultimate goal. And being a recording engineer, there's always a handful of little fires you're going to put out, like, oh, this might not be working. Okay, fix that and make it look seamlessly,
right,
and make it sound seamless as well, and keeping your absolute like steady and like, okay, there's no problem. Everything's gonna be fine.
Where did you learn that?
To not crack under pressure.
Yeah. Where did you learn that it was even a thing that you should do, and then what did it take to actually learn to be able to do it?
I did a few years of chefing in the
okay,
and that'll make your blood boil, and I've lost it in that atmosphere for sure. Like, I've seen other people lose it a lot worse than I have. But yeah, not that pressure of being on a line. People are expecting that service of like, I have people relying on me. This is an expectation. You have to meet that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see someone and they're struggling and there's frustration and beads of sweat are coming off their head, it makes everyone around you that much more nervous, and you're second guessing things, and you see someone act like not that there's not a care in the world, but like being cool.
Shut up, stupid! It's just another day.
It's another day, but you keep it cool, and you don't let the little things fluster you, and you watch people's reactions around you, and it's completely different. If you keep cool, everyone else will surprisingly,
you start to become the leader just by default.
By default, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in here. I'm not making any huge principal decisions of like of any of that, and unless it's music I'm producing, which comes to decision making, and it takes days or weeks to make decisions, or in the mix process, there's different things. But in the recording situation, it's about capturing someone's performance, and by capturing the best performance, make it as seamless and easy as possible.
Yeah.
Like you're playing on the edge of your bed in your living room or something, and like you're not playing for anyone else. Once you start putting many microphones in front of people tense up.
Right.
And it happens, and it's okay. I do the same thing. Like, you go on stage, you get nervous.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain nerves. Through those nerves, an energy can be like built up, and it can be.
But you have to learn how to harness that. It's not just something that comes through.
Yeah. So you kind of craft that, and it's important. It's an important role in this. But I'm not trying to implement any of my ideas of there should be a screaming fuzz solo on this or anything. But
no, but I think what's interesting, and it's funny because you talk about as your role as an engineer, just kind of making everything calm and sort of relaxed and just kind of making your way through. But it's funny because I think you do show all of that leadership just by when the doors open. Now, for the audience, I stayed here last night by myself, right? So I had some time to just kind of walk around and check it out. You were nice enough to say that that's a thing I can do. So I walked around, I looked around, and one of the things that really struck me is, like, with the exception that your killer board that is just behind the camera is sitting on cinder blocks.
Yeah, it is.
But with the exception of that, nothing in this studio seems anything other than like the most serene, sort of like impeccably deep. Like, the floors are fucking clean.
They are.
There's no dust on. Like, this is a big place, right? And there isn't dust on knickknacks and stuff. Like, it's taken care of.
Yeah, but things get used quite a lot here, and so dust doesn't really build up. Like,
yeah, you got plants sitting in that corner.
Yeah.
Okay, I have been to studios you've been to studios
where there's no plants.
Forget plants. The only reason there's plants is because they're growing out of whatever the hell is in the corner.
Yeah, there's a fungus or something. Yeah, we're lucky to have sunlight here, but things are used quite a lot here. I mean, there's guitars. You're gonna find dust here, and normal things of any of that. But yeah, we have it's kind of a homey feel.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with a home studio. This is this is a professional working space. But yeah, when things get used a lot, they don't collect dust. Guitars get picked up, they're going to vibrate, shut the dust off. Keeping the floors clean. That's just. I mean, we have a lot of people coming in and out.
That's a little fine point on it, but the place is well kept, it's well maintained, and it's like you can tell that you put attention into the details of the stuff around you. Like you're not just throwing shit wherever. You're not just, you know what I mean? Like you're not. I can't think of the word but like you're not spazzing out all over the place. You know what I mean? Like
there's instances where there is spaz,
sure,
and you're setting things up quickly because you want things. If things are going well and someone's got an idea and you want to capture something well, like
get on it,
and that's okay. That'll be a spaz. Like fine example, we're doing pre-production yesterday, and there's mic cables everywhere.
Right.
I'm not the engineer to like make sure they're all laid out perfectly. That's not my style.
Right.
I'm more concerned about capturing a great performance. If there's cables on the floor, that's fine. I'll pick them up after.
Right.
And that's no problem.
Yeah.
Until that point, like if you go into the live room, there's mics hanging everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But they're kept clean. Someone else comes. Okay, we're cutting a vocal. This mic's here. Let's put it here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to. You don't always need to overthink things. By our setup here. I mean, other than the cinder blocks, which are great, by the way.
No, I think they're awesome. I'm just, out of everything that's in here, those are the only thing that are slightly out of place. Like that's the only thing that would belong in a basement studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything else is like, I feel like I'm in a Toronto. Well, I'm in a Montreal studio. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, we're just cool.
Right. A little French.
We're on the east side. So.
Right.
Just keeping this as a comfortable place. I want people to feel comfortable. I've walked into bigger name studios, and they're beautiful. And there's a team of people to take care of and manage the place and run the books. A lot of that responsibility is on me, but I have a great team of people that I work with here too that I can also rely on. Nobody's leaving dishes. Dishes. We have a functional kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
That was really important to the building of this studio. Like, you spend 12, 14, 18 hours a day working. You have to eat.
Right.
And stepping out for food is fine, but to keep sessions running smooth, toss something in the oven, have coffee on, for sure.
Well, and I mean, especially because it's music and it's art, right? Because like even that, the getting up and changing environments can sort of like kill whatever you're working on. So be able to just
it can kill some momentum. However, sometimes that momentum needs to be killed.
You need it.
If there's a bad momentum, it's like, okay, let's take 45. Let's go on the terrace upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch the sunset and chill out. Then let's crack into whatever we're talking about again.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not beat our heads and try to do all these drum edits right
now.
No,
I just mean like if you've got a good session going and all of a sudden it's like, we're hungry, but we're going to take off to a restaurant and then come back. You lose that momentum.
Oh yeah, you will lose a chunk of time for sure. So keeping things on schedule is important. Keeping that stamina. Also the studio is demanding of that. It's a mental stamina.
Yeah.
Like you are using your ears.
Don't forget you can subscribe to our full audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your audio podcasts. The full episodes, highlights, and our live off-the-floor performance videos can be found at our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the AVB Podcast. Of course, you'll find links to our incredible sponsors and this week's guest in the description below. The AVB Podcast is part of the Border City Network. Find more great content at bordercitynetwork.com. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.